Hi guys, is there anything more beautiful than a hardy hibiscus in full bloom? This is dinner size and I do not know the name of this variety. I got this one from a friend and it is blooming beautifully. You can see over here it's got 3 blooms at once, and rarely do you ever get that option to where they all bloom at the same time. But you can see on this one I've got 3 in full bloom. Let me see if I can get a better view. Look at this. You can see it from all sides. Normally they only bloom once and then that's it. They only last one day. Then they fade. Then you'll have another one. Because you can see here, these ones are in bloom right now. And then tomorrow, tonight, they'll close up and drop off. And then you'll get this one for tomorrow. And this one could potentially be for the following day. So tomorrow I might end up with 2, because look at this one underneath. It's getting ready to open. See, this one is ready and ripe for tomorrow, as well as this one. But this one is just slightly behind. So they come in successions. That way you'll continuously have blooms. But there's 3 currently on this one. And it's beautiful. This one I struggle with because we had such high wind and rain. It basically toppled the plants over. And so you can see most of the branches are leaning over because they almost fall to the ground. And then they kind of pick themselves up as the weather kind of clears up. Tomorrow I'll have a couple more blooms. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? But this is probably one of my favorite, along with the hardy hibiscus, the Midnight Marvel. That one I know the name. But this one I don't, and she's so beautiful. You can see once she fully opens, it'll be dinner size plate. And let's go to the next one. Oh, there's Pixie over there laying in my plant. She's probably, I'm going to need to stake it. So again, like I said, the hard thing about having dogs, they want to come in and lay it in the shade. And if the plants aren't sturdy enough, they lay on top of it. So I think there's a couple plants that she's laying on. So we'll have to rectify that situation by putting a stake down. Let me see. The next one is the hardy hibiscus Midnight Marvel. This one over here is flopping over, which is why it's almost like double the size. I think it's probably like 6 feet wide, 5 feet tall. Over here is the same way. I got one on each side from previous video that's flanking this trellis that we built. Midnight Marvel is doing great. Look how big she gets. She's so beautiful, so stunning. It's lipstick red, and you get like little ruffles. See how the edge doesn't completely enclose? Each ruffle comes on the inside, so kind of creates another interest. And then of course the leaf itself creates an amazing interest contrast to the flower itself. You can see the 2-tone color in the flower. This one is such a pretty variety. Now underneath, new growth, you can see here it's more green. Without sunlight, it stays a little bit green. More exposure to the sun and the leaf turns the color. Here's a couple over here that's got blooms, and you can see you've got bugs and stuff that'll nibble on the flower, so it kind of disfigures the flower just a little bit, but not too much to worry. This one is getting quite big, and this is another one here that I took from when it fell over. I just stuck it in the soil, and you can see it's growing. It's liking its spot. It actually has some flowers, so it's going to bloom for me. I'm going to transplant this out in the front. But look at how pretty she is in the sunlight. As the weather warms up, hardy hibiscus, they love the warm weather. You can see here, she's just getting bigger and bigger and growing. So I have the hardy hibiscus over here and then elephant ear over here, just kind of creating the backstage area. And then I got an angel trumpet right here. They are coming into bloom as well. I got 2 that is currently in bloom right now, but they are a little bit slower. The one that likes the really intense hot heat is starting to come around right now. So that's kind of nice. In the springtime was more of the roses. You can see this is the white Eden that I have here. She's sporadically, this is her second flush, but you can see she had black spots and she dropped all of her leaves. I came in, I deadhead every single flower and stripped the leaves, and then she's pushing out new growth. This is her second flush of flower. It's not as pretty as the first one, but she's still giving me a little bit of flower. And then they are just about done, so I'm going to come in and deadhead again, and you can see the new growth coming in now. The weather is not as humid right now, so she's growing, but the black spots will come again as it keeps getting hotter and hotter and humid. But I am back to the hardy hibiscus. So she is looking extremely beautiful, and I don't really do too much to her. She does have an issue with those little caterpillar worms that like to eat her leaves. So as long as it doesn't look too bad, I kind of leave them. But if it gets worse, I might go in and treat it a little bit. I usually take a walk in the garden, and if I see a spent bloom, I just pop it off and drop it. That will be more energy to keep on going. And they do fine on their own. You don't have to deadhead. But it's just my preference to come in and deadhead the ones that are already in bloom. Look at this. It's like a lipstick red color. So vibrant. And this one is a spent bloom. So I'm just going to go in and do that just as a morning walk in through my garden. So it's really pretty. And this is its first kind of flush, I guess. This is really the first flower on it. You can see all the buds that are getting ready to open. So definitely going to have quite a bit of a show comes the hot heat. And then I've got this, I think this, I want to say is a Limelight. It might be Limelight Prime because the stem is really sturdy and the panicles are really big. Look at Sky walking through my garden. Most likely laying and sleeping. Yep, there she goes. Oh, right on the branch. Yep. Nothing like wanting a little bit of shade, huh? From the heat. So not only does the weather have an effect on the plants, but the dogs have a major effect on the plants as well. There are a couple more hardy hibiscus that I have, but they are currently not in bloom. I've got this one that is supposed to be white, and I can't wait to see and show you all what it looks like. But the buds are coming out. This one I got from a friend. And then I think this one is just another Midnight Marvel cutting that I got that's blooming. And that one is the pink variety. And then let me show you this one more that I have. And it's the first bloom. But while I do that, let me stop and show you Cathedral Bell. This is another flush. This rose is so vigorous. If you see one at Home Depot, this one was purchased at Home Depot. If you see a Cathedral Bell, I would suggest picking it up. While she does have black spots, you can see she retains her petals, her leaf more than a lot of others. Like I have a Miranda Lambert right here. She's completely stripped, but still doing it, so I just let them be. It is the love of roses. You got to put up with it in the South. I used to live in Colorado a century ago, it seems. You can have roses because their temperature is hot. Hot and no humidity there. So definitely can grow roses there. Here you got to struggle with the intense heat and the humidity, which the roses don't like. But isn't she beautiful? Still doing great. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, but I thought I'd show you a little bit of rose. Julia's Child is still retaining her her leaf, but you can see struggling with black spots. I did spray them in the springtime, but honestly, I don't think that really works and it's a waste of money. But I tried to see if it will help. And Julia Child actually retains her leaf hold a lot better than the other hybrid tea variety. This is another hardy hibiscus, but this one is more pink. Look at this one. You can see with this one, she's just a beautiful color, but it looks like her leaf was eaten before she actually was fully open. So you can see why the leaf from the bottom didn't actually open up like these two up here. So it should look just like this in full bloom. But this is the first full bloom of this one. I'm not sure of the variety either, but looking forward to it because she is very prolific. She had all these roses, roses, all these blooms that are starting to open up. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how well she does. Sorry, I'm backing off here into the garden. I realize in this flower garden, I don't have height, and I really need height interest. I do have some stuff that's supposed to give some height, but they're taking a long time to grow. Like there's the Japanese maple right here, where I can't remember the variety now. But the bark is supposed to go really red in the spring and fall time, so that'll be interesting once it grows. But the habit is really slow growing, so it kind of blends in. And then I've got a Japanese magnolia over here that tends to be more of a shrub bush. I think this is Jane or Anne. Can't remember the variety. And she's actually giving me sporadic blooms, which is great. But you can see she's staying more compact and bushy. So I'm going to train her to be more of a standard, which is a tree form. And then here's another hardy hibiscus. Look at this one. This one in the shade looks really pretty. And then of course here is a spent one, so I just come in and snip it off and just drop it. But she's pretty. This one suffered the most. When I said that she was laid flat, if you look inside, see there's the plant itself, and you can see in the ground are the stems. And they're not supposed to be belaying like that. They should be upright like this one. But you can see I've lost quite a few. So it doesn't tend. I guess if you have really beaten rain and wind, it snaps it off. But it's still it still is alive, so I just let it be, and then probably in the fall time we'll go in and get it worked up again. Oh, and look at this. Eden, you guys. Finally, an actual Eden. Pink in color, just like how I want it to be. And if we look over here, this is a different side. I want to show you this pink color. I almost want to pick this one off just to show you the difference between this pink rose and, this pink hardy hibiscus versus the other one that I really like on that other side. It's so pretty. But they do contrast. Look at all this one, all the buds on top. Isn't that pretty? And it's big. It's probably, I would say, 3 by 3 in height, 3 feet high, and it's like 5 feet wide. And you see, this is the branch that laid down over here, and then from it laying down, all of its side shoots are coming upward. So eventually it'll be really nice and full. That one can be removed. And then we got new one that's coming in. This one will open up tomorrow. This one the following day. So you have really good successions. That's why it's really great to grow hardy hibiscus. You don't get one flush all at once and then be done. So that's in bloom right now with the hardy hibiscus. I cannot wait to see. Here's another one over here. This one I've grown from a cutting. You can see it's growing and it's doing great. It just has one single stem. I put it right here and it's doing great, but you can see I did not space it enough because it's going to get probably at least 5 feet high, 5 feet wide. This area cannot accommodate it, so either I need to move all these plants out of the way and let it bloom, or remove this plant and then let the other one stay. So, this is what happens when you grow plants from cuttings. You plant them into the ground, and then you don't want to see all the space when it's such a small cutting that has taken root that you put in the ground. So you plant a whole bunch of things around it, and then when it gets to be its maturity, you realize, like here's this one right here, it will eventually get as big as this one right here. So it's hard to imagine in space when you are planting things into the ground from cuttings. Very hard to judge the size. And the sedum is coming into its own. You can see they're starting to flower, and before you realize it, they're going to be in full blooms, and all of the pollinators will be on top of it. So that is it, you guys, for a quick tour on the hardy hibiscus. Once they are in full bloom, I'll do an actual garden tour and try to hit everything. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you are having fun in your garden, creating your place of peace and wonder. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.